1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to the Dragon Shed for the March report. Well, not the Dragon Shed because it's frankly frigid out there. No, I don't like that word. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to the Dragon Shed for the March report, although I'm not actually in the dragon. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to the Dragon Shed for the March report, although I'm not actually in the Dragon Shed today because it's frankly Arctic down there at present. Ambient temperature outside is about -4 degrees, plus wind chill makes it about -8, and the concrete walls of the shed really hold that temperature, so even with the heater blaring at me, I'm not getting much more than kind of -10 degrees down there, so it's just frankly too cold to do anything in the shed at the minute. So it's snow day, pyjama day, with a little bit of crafting involved. So here you see I'm stuffing mini and various, no I'm not. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to the Dragon Shed, well not the Dragon Shed, for the March report. It is frankly Arctic out there. Ambient temperature is about -4, plus wind chill takes it to about -8. And in the concrete walls of my shed, it's around about there. Even with the heating on, I'm getting no more than maybe -1 or 2, so not staying down there for particularly long. So I've kind of decamped up to the conservatory because it's bright enough to work in, but definitely not as cold. So I think in the February report I mentioned that I was making a lot of plushies, so this is kind of the end stage of plushie making, where I've got to sit and stuff a lot of them. Now if you've only got 1 or 2 to do, this is quite enjoyable, but I've got about 30 because I managed to sew pretty much 1 a day throughout February, so it was a way to keep my hands busy whilst I was indoors because it was too cold to be outside. So I did bits and pieces in the shed and then came in and did some sewing. So that's all well and good, but my hands are aching. I've got a little bit of arthritis or something developing in my hands, which is not pleasant, and trying to sew like this outside is not ideal, at least not until the summer. So yeah, lots of stuffing to be done when I get to that point. These are my last couple that I kind of left. I was going to do a full video, but for whatever reason I did all the talking and the explaining on time lapse, so you've lost all the explanations. So this is essentially a snake pattern, or 2 snake patterns, and I'm using the strips of offcuts of ribbon to kind of build them up, and then because I'm basing it onto just some cotton fabric and then kind of stitching it down with a running stitch, and then going over the top with a slightly more decorative loop stitch on one of them, and just a straight stitch on the other. I'm going to add some extras too once it's filled. So it's a fairly tedious job, but again, this kind of craft is something once you've got started you can just kind of turn your brain off and get on with it. So yeah, as of February I've been swimming twice a week, and so far I've only managed total about 2.5 miles, which isn't great, but I'm intending to get to a target of maybe half a mile in an hour and 20 or thereabouts. So that's kind of where I'm aiming at the minute. If I can get my half mile down to an hour, then I'll increase it, but I think that's enough, as I'm combining different strokes. So I start off with butterfly or something, and then do a couple of laps of a front crawl that's quite energetic, and then back to a butterfly. So I'm kind of balancing out the energy. So that's quite fun, albeit fairly aggravating, because even though on the official timetable swim lessons and things are supposed to stop at 6, they have been continuing on until 8:30 most nights I've been there, so you're trying to focus on your stroke and your rhythm, and you're being overtaken by small children doing whizzy things up and down the pool, which is aggravating, and splashing like crazy. Also getting run over by those swimmers that are really quite fast. I call them whales. They don't seem to realise that there are other people in front of them, or that there is any kind of etiquette to swimming and staying in your lane. Most of them have goggles on, but they don't see where you are, so you're liable to get clouted around the back of the head by someone as you're swimming along, which is not fun. Now, local pool, the temperature it varies quite considerably. When I went in on Monday, it was cold. It was really cold, and everyone was getting kind of cramps and things on the way down. You normally get a cramp at the deep end, and I did, so that kind of slowed me down. So it took almost 2 hours to do my half mile, which is a lot slower than I have been doing. So yeah, I've got no control over the temperature of the pool, but it's just aggravating to have it so cold. But I think perhaps they're having issues with their temperature because the time before they actually had to open the fire escape doors because the aircon wasn't working. So there was kind of a mist growing over the pool, which was interesting because you couldn't see the deep end. So yeah, swimming is better for someone of my size because it's not a really kind of harsh, high impact exercise. I'm intending to get down another stone and a half before the end of the month, and then I'm going to start on the exercise bikes and things like that, which are a bit more energetic, but again not high impact. I'm still not down to where I want to be, so working on that, but not quite there yet. Because of the weather, I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to get down into the shed until maybe the end of the week, or next week, because we've got, after the beast from the east, there's going to be Storm Emma, which the weather forecasts aren't particularly sure how far she's going to get across the UK. Some saying she's going to stay more towards the west, some saying she's going to reach London, so I don't know. I hope to be able to get into the shed by the end of next week. If not, then I have to rejig my planned videos anyway. So for this month, the first video is going to be my 3-minute skill, which is more than 3 minutes, but then they normally are, on beanbag making. I've had this one made for some time, so I think I made it back in January. So it's been sitting around for a while, so I thought I might as well throw that one in because I can. Hopefully the week after I can get in and do some scroll sawing. And I want to make a handbag box for Mum for Mother's Day, which is the 11th of this month. Dragon food, I've come across a recipe for carrot marmalade. That seems to have piqued my interest, so I'm intending to do that. And then my project, I'm going to make a little kind of drawer unit type thing. I've had the plan kind of rolling around in my head for a while, so it's more of an experiment than an actual project. But I think I know how it works, so we shall see. So yeah, that is all the news I've got for this month. Obviously not going to go swimming today because I'm liable to catch pneumonia or something. So I'll be back into the pool probably on Monday, and then Thursday, and then Monday and Thursday, Monday and Thursday. So I've got a nice kind of spread of exercise over the week. So at least that's the plan. So I'll say now, enjoy the snow that you've got, if you've got any. Keep yourself warm, don't do anything stupid, and I'll see you again next week.